Rigondeaux versus Casimero. Man, I'm so excited to do this video, mainly because so I got a comment from Quadro Alas Defender or Alas Defender. Dude, man, thank you so much for the advice on this fight. Man, I wasn't even thinking about this fight at all. Like, this wasn't on my radar at all. And man, I missed it. So shouts out to you, and I thank you for this one. And this goes for anybody really out there. If y'all got ideas and y'all want me to do a prediction video, dude, put it in the comment section below, man. You know, like, it's not all about like likes and subscriptions and stuff, man. Like, send me a message. I'll do one of these videos. Like, any type of videos that y'all want, dude, let me know, man. I'll make it happen. So we're just gonna go ahead and get into this thing, and I'm gonna tell you right off the bat. If you're putting money on this fight, I would not. Because there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. And I had to do a whole lot of analysis a whole lot of research on these two. And dude, it's not, I don't know, man. I don't know how anybody would put money on this fight, because there's a lot of factors that I'm going to get into a little bit of it, but dude, it's tricky. It's tricky. So, Rigondeaux, he's got 22 fights, 20 wins, 13 wins by KO, 1 loss, 1 no contest. And then Casimero, he's got 34 fights, 30 wins, 21 wins by KO, and 4 losses. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this. Casimero got some juice in both hands. In both hands. He's got a left and a right. The dude is tricky as crap. Like, he's tricky. Real tricky. He can close the distance. He can be on you and off you in a second. It's like some lightning stuff. That's why that, like, the Inoue thing, that could have been sort of crazy. But I'm just saying that Casimero, he can be on you, off you. Yeah. So, I don't know. In this fight, he'll be able to close the distance. And I think that the uppercut will be there. I really do. And I think that this fight could potentially, for Casimero, could end early. I'm talking about like maybe the 3rd or the 4th round. Regardless, this is going to be some quick stuff. It could. So this is my thoughts. It's either going to be real quick for Casimero, or Rigondeaux is going to survive for a decision and possibly edge out a split decision. And it's crazy because he just came off of a split decision victory. But see, here's the deal. Just follow me on this. Rigondeaux is, so I've been talking about Casimero. Rigondeaux is one of the best defensive fighters that I've seen, you know. And he doesn't really like do defense with the hands per se, but it's just like positioning and all that stuff. It's just the fact that the guy is old. Father Time is catching up to him. And I think if this would have been, say, 5 or 7 years ago, then Rigondeaux would have gotten this hands down. I mean, he's got the height and reach advantage. I believe he's got the reach advantage. I know he's got the height advantage. Let me just check that on the reach. Yeah, so he's got the reach. So 67.5 to 64 Casimero. So here's another deal with Rigondeaux. Dude, he's southpaw. And I don't care what anybody says, man. Southpaws are tricky. Southpaws are tricky. So, and he's a strategist. He's a strategist in that ring. Real smart fighter. I'm talking about Rigondeaux. Real smart fighter. So, I was watching a whole lot of fights just to get ready for this video. He's really explosive off that front foot. Really explosive. but not so great on the back foot. Like he's not really fighting on the back, and he's not. I he's tricky, but he's not that tricky when it comes to fighting on the back foot. He's not doing that. He's just got some explosive power coming off the front. So with that being said, I just feel like right now it's either going to be Father Time catching up to Rigondeaux, or him being able to get through. If he can just get through the first 4 to 5 rounds, that's all he's got to survive. I really think if he can just survive the first 4 to 5 rounds, I think that that's the best chance that Rigondeaux's got to, well, he's going to get a decision at that point. I think he can survive. Like, the experience will take him the rest of the way. If he gets to a decision, I think he might be able to edge out on a split decision. So it's either going to be a split decision or it could potentially be a draw. But I think that it's going to be a split. I think he can get a split decision. But it just will be experience. Now Casimero, I think there's a high probability that Casimero might get a knockdown in the 2nd or 3rd round. High probability. If they get in a clinch and they get real close, Rigondeaux, the last fights that I was seeing, that dude, he doesn't put his hands up when he's close. And I don't know, man. It's weird. But they miss him almost every time. People just miss him and stuff. It's like he's got really good reaction times. So what I'm thinking that can only last for so long. Somebody in the camp has probably seen this in Casimero's camp and been like, look, get in the clinch and throw that uppercut like your life depended on it. Watch the fights. It's crazy. Almost all the fights that Rigondeaux was doing, when he gets in close, it doesn't even have his hands really up like that. He's not really protecting nothing. And it's almost like, I don't know, he's like the Matrix or something. Every time they were throwing something, he was just it's some crazy stuff, man. I don't know. It's like I don't know. But, so, what am I saying? I'm saying it's either Father Time or not. And so on this fight, I don't feel comfortable actually saying who I feel win. I hate doing this, man. I really do. I hate it. But I just don't feel comfortable. Just because it's either or. It's either a split decision for Rigondeaux, or it's potentially a very dangerous knockout or stoppage in the 4th or 5th round for Casimero. That's what I think we got. I don't think it's no unanimous decision, like dominant performance and nothing like that. I think these boys are going to be blazing. That's what I think. I think Rigondeaux is going to have to survive all that, because I think Casimero is going to be throwing some stuff. Yeah, that's what I think. So, and you know how these boys go anyway, because, like, I mean, we're talking about real small weights, so they're going to be blazing anyway. But I think Casimero's got some juice. So that's what I got, man. I hate that, but I'm sorry. And I hate that you asked for this. I hate that I can't tell you for sure. But when you got a southpaw, regardless, when you got a southpaw in the fight, no matter how old he is still a southpaw. And southpaws are hard, especially when they're southpaws that are defensive minded and they're strategists like Rigondeaux is. I don't care how old you are, man. That stuff is difficult. It's tricky. So I really don't bet on southpaws. I mean, bet against southpaws. I just don't. It's very hard for me to bet against southpaws. They gotta be trash. So And Rigondeaux is not trash. He's just old. With that being said, always like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Peace, one love, and we out of here.